Hi guys, it's Robin. Thanks for joining me again for another processing video. This picture is of my aunt and uncle, Don and Michelle, and they're the ones that came for my, well, I was supposed to be pinned for my nursing graduation, but I missed it by 1.2% if you've seen that video, and so I need to retake that course for 8 weeks starting January 12th. But they came anyway to celebrate me and all that I've accomplished, and I adore them. And Michelle is my mother's only sibling. She's 15 years younger than my mom. And this was an older picture of them taken in 1978 in Oregon, and I'm using my open book collection. I got a lot of these in my I want to say it was my Scraptastic kit, but I was going to start off this page like a page that my good friend Tuesday Hubbard here on YouTube did with her border punches, making a bunch of strips with the frilly borders and layer them up. And then Kate Kennedy did one off of Tuesday's idea, and so I was going to do it, and I still am going to do one, but it just wasn't turning out. I wasn't happy with, I think it was just the feeling of the page and the photo. I need a different photo, so I might pick one from one of my girls, or maybe when they were younger, and do that. But Don and Michelle both love to read, and so I thought this open book piece of paper collection of whatever would be really cute. And to be honest, when I first saw this piece of paper, I was like, oh, what am I going to do with this? You know, like many pieces of paper that I have, I think like that sometimes. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? But this page just kind of came together on its own, and Michelle was right next to me. It was a day she and I were down here scrapbooking, and my mom was watching. And now my mom is very creative, but she doesn't like to create, or it's not her thing. And it's such a waste. Because she could be really good at it, you know? And she gets a little self-conscious because she has essential hand tremors, and you know, she takes propranolol for that, and it helps. But I'm like, Mom, don't let those stop you from doing things. And I've even pointed out to her, when her and Dad go walking and exercising around their little well, not exercise, they just walk in the mornings around their retirement community, that she shakes less during the day when she does that. So she's aware of that. I'm like, the more you do, the less you shake, and you're just going to have good days and bad days, but don't let those tremors stop you from trying or doing things. And so anyway, so she kind of eased her way over. She started off in the chair at the end of the room, because my room is very narrow. It's only like 7 by 14, a very small room, and I'm outgrowing it quickly. And I have this really long desktop. I have a video on YouTube of my scrap room, but it was done like 2 years ago it's so much more full now, but you'll see the desktop. And so Michelle was sitting next to me. So my mom eventually kind of came over, and she was giving me like ideas and her 2 cents. And at first I was like, okay, she doesn't want to scrapbook, but she's over telling me how to scrapbook. But I just took it with a grain of salt, and actually I think it was adorable. And after a while, I was like, you know what, she is creating, but through me. So I took a lot of her ideas, and I used them, and who knows, maybe it's a baby step to get her to do, maybe I'll get her to do like pocket pages, or a 6x8 album or something. I don't know. I think if she tried it, she would like it, because she really did like seeing the process, and she didn't realize so much fiddling and thinking goes into it. And I think she was kind of now her mind was how I was when I first started scrapbooking. Why am I mixing patterns together? You know, you should have one pattern and some solids. And I used to scrap that way, and I was like, Mom, it's just, you know, it's how the different scales of the patterns, how to put them together. You can use different scales and patterns. So she saw how they would come together and work, and she goes, I would never have put those together, but that's really interesting. So anyway, from another cut apart sheet, I took out these library cards, because again, like I said, Don and Michelle both really enjoy reading, and so that's why the feeling for this page kind of took a turn, and I did not plan on it at all. It just kind of what happened, and I loved how it turned out. And I'm also going to use quite a few of the open book, the rub-ons on this. And I feel like the page needs to set on, or the picture needs to set on something. I feel it's kind of hooked on the side there, but it needs kind of a base. And you'll see in a little bit what I use for that. And I pull out a third library card, but I think it's a sticker. Maybe it's a cutout. I thought it was a sticker. We shall see. But later on in the video, you'll see I take my date stamp and I do different dates on these library cards, the due date cards. And on one I write in red pen overdue, and it's just really cute. And on all of these papers I really scruffed up the edges and inked them. I just think it gave it an aged look like a library has most of the time. And this picture was actually taken for their church directory. A photographer would come once a year and they had like a little photo directory of people, and then they'd have a potluck and stuff like that. And my cousin Jennifer Ray, these are her parents. My cousin Jennifer that just got married this summer in San Mateo, California I went to, these are her parents. And she was just not even quite a year yet. So, yeah. I showed my uncle this, and he's always had longer hair, and he still has the longer hair, but it's you know, gray now, and I still think he looks fine. He's like, oh. I showed him this picture, and he goes, oh, I'm such an old man now. I'm like, would you stop it? You're fine. You're fine. So anyway, I really loved making this. And Michelle, I love that she was right next to me making it. Maybe, or while I was making it, maybe that gave me the energy and the mojo for this picture, because I've had it out for over a year and not quite sure what I wanted to do with it, and this just kind of put itself together. All right, so now I did take a scratch sheet of paper because I knew I wanted the picture and everything to sit on something, but I still do something more. And my favorite story, I took that and cut it apart because I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to put it. My mom's here. You'll start seeing her hands soon, moving things around. And I should have kept the video, because when I was editing this last night, she would go, oh, there you go. Yeah, that's it. See, you got it. Good job, Robin. That's what she would say. And then I put it up there. She goes, ooh, now wait a minute. I do like it. No, put it back up there. So I'm like, Mom, I will. I'm just trying it out. So anyway, I decided to use some of these hearts first. On the side, I decided to put it up there in the corner, and I love it just brings some pink up there to that corner, because I have the pink library card or book due date card down there, and then I have the pink spine book paper on the right, so those pink hearts help bring some of that up there. So I decided on putting my title up there, which also pleased my mother. Even though she liked it up there on top of the picture, she liked it there just as much. And I said, it needs something up here in the corner, Mom. So I explained my little triangle rule. It's not a rule. It's just something I find that works for me, you know, my triangle embellishments. And so she's like, oh, I never thought of that. I said, it just kind of helps your eye flow around the page a little bit better. I said, but sometimes I just go straight across or at a diagonal or whatever. And I said, I just do whatever makes me happy at that moment. But on the cut apart down there, you see that really thick scroll. And when I saw the cut apart, I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? But as with the book paper, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It worked on this page, and I just kind of put that underneath, and it kind of makes it like a shelf. So you'll see that in a minute. And I'm also going to cut out this pen. And this is where my mom starts, because I'm fiddling with it, like kind of where do I want to put this? And so she wants to get into the action, and she starts moving it around too. And once we figure out the final resting place for that pen, I said, good job, Mom, because it was her idea. And so I high-fived her, but because she shakes, I took her hand and I high-fived it under the camera so you could see us. That'll happen in just a minute, but I'm putting that down. She goes, oh, I never would have thought of that. I like that a lot. I'm like, I know, right? It kind of just turned out. I guess you could kind of set that up on its end too and make it kind of like a spine of a book, because you know some older books have decoration on their spines like that. So I liked it here. It kind of looked like a shelf, and it worked. And it brings some black down to the bottom of the page because now I have that favorite story up top in black, and it just worked. Ta-da! And I really like how these rub-ons go on. I don't have to fight them at all. And I'm always nervous. See, here she goes. She's like, can I just for a minute? And her first thought was, I had to pick it up for her. Her first thought was to just drop it like I just set it down. Like I was writing and I just set it down, and I like that. So then I start flipping it around. And then she takes it back. And I'm like, no, I'm not done playing with it. And she goes, give me that pen. And so then she puts it up there. She's like, there, like you just finished writing that. And so that's when you just saw I gave her a high five. And she goes, why are you holding my hand? I said, so they can see it under the camera. She goes, oh, I'm going to be famous. Tell everybody I said hello. My mom's a nut. So my mom says hello, everybody. And her hand is now famous because it's on one of my YouTube videos. Oh, my goodness. She's a hoot. I end up using a couple more rub-ons. I use this little green squiggly, it's not quite a leaf. And then I use some arrows and document this, or favorite document or something like that. I'm just using some of my Route 66 here, just a little something to give. It didn't need it, but I just used it, and what I like about the Route 66 is it's subtle, it's not overpowering, but I wanted to bring in some more gray because of that spine, the story book that says the storyteller. It's done in gray, and I really didn't have a lot of gray on there. So now I'm just using my marker, and I'm and this isn't going to work. I was coloring the date stamp, but it's not going to show up. So I end up just using one of my ink pads and wiping off the parts I don't want. There we go. I wasn't using the years because the years were, my roller stamps didn't go back to the 70s. So I just kind of used, June 28th or July 4th or, whatever. And I used some black flare to make my triangle, and then a favorite moment, and then the arrows, those rub-ons right above the picture. So here are some close-ups. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you like this. I think it turned out really kind of cute and fun. So thumbs up for Mom, please. Thumbs up for my mama and her creativity and help with this project. And I will talk to you later. Thanks for joining me. Bye.